start a video diary about my experiences and just kind of document what I go through, partly to help other people if that's possible, but mainly selfish reasons to kind of help myself. Before I've tried to keep charts, or my girlfriend's tried to keep charts, mainly just before I went into hospital, and a little bit afterwards, and I just found it really impossible to keep like some kind of journal. And it's not really been that important. The last year I've been on medication since I came out of hospital, that first time, the only time I was in hospital for it. I was in a month. That was about a year and a half ago. I'm quite happy on the medication. I still haven't got my life together. I see a cognitive therapist every week. Most of the time it's good. Quite often I get a bit of anxiety for going there. Still haven't got a job, and because of my situation I live abroad, and when I was ill a couple of years back I was homeless for quite a few months. So I was off the books, so I can't get any kind of welfare or anything like that, so it's a bit of a difficult situation. I'm living off my partner, her income. We live together. We've been together 5 years. So I'm lucky, I suppose. And sometimes I wonder if I was on my own, there'd be more pressure on me to just, I'd need to get myself sorted out, and I do. I've been applying for, jobs every day, last couple of weeks anyway. Even though I'm still written off sick actually until the end of the year, another 2 months. I try to, plan ahead and everything. I was talking to my cognitive therapist about it as well, kind of clearing it with them. That I would already start looking for work or work rehabilitation already back in September. August actually I looked, and the job centre is just fucking useless. They've just not been able to help. They don't even know who's supposed to be taking care of me. I'm passed around loads of people. I suppose it's almost like the kind of problems that some people have had with doctors or medication, but I've been lucky actually with that. Right, so that was a little bit of a rant about what I've been going through, where I am, my situation. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because I felt a little bit lonely, I suppose, with what I've been going through. I do know a few people that have had similar diagnosis or similar problems, like mental health problems to me, and a few people that have kind of self-diagnosed themselves as bipolar. I think the jury's still out on that. Well, my inner jury is still out on that with them. I really am sick of this whole pop culture about being bipolar, like this little club, and I'm just really skeptical about people, especially on YouTube and things, saying that they've done this and they've done that. Because the people that I met in hospital, the people that I knew to be mentally ill of some description, or bipolar or something like that, when you see it in action, you can't really replicate that. When you've seen it, you know what it's like. You recognize it, and I don't recognize it in a lot of these people on YouTube, and I think it, a lot of people make fun of it, and they talk about it in the media quite a lot, about different actors and things like that, and it's this kind of cool club, and you get people on YouTube saying, don't make fun of it, and I've had it for so many years or whatever, and I'm just automatically skeptical about these people. I suppose I shouldn't really give a shit, but I think really what it is because I think, I feel a little bit insulted, like it's making light of the situation. I was first diagnosed when I was 20, and I'm 33 now, and I had my big, crash, I suppose. I've had a lot of crashes before, crashes up and crashes down in the past. That's why I first got diagnosed when I was 20, thanks to, my trip. and I just ignored it through my 20s. Well, I didn't ignore it, I think I knew about it, and I knew a few people, like, specifically, I think it was like 26, 27, I remember someone saying to me that he was bipolar, and, you know, that was some like excuse for him being a prick, and I don't think he was, I'm not a doctor, but I was, you know, having my situations, because it's not like you have an episode in one evening, but, you know, I was going through a period of a manic episode, and or even probably a downer as well. It's difficult for me to like look back and kind of know what the hell was going on, but when you see someone else kind of with their little self-diagnosis, and when I look back to see when I was really playing up, make sure the nose is on. Oh, it's gone. Might as well take it off, it's a bit ridiculous. The reason I did that is because I had some idea about being in disguise, but my nickname's Bunny Man, so I thought it would be good. I can't seem to get rid of it, anyway, fuck it, it's not that important. Disguise obviously didn't work anyway. Everyone would recognise me, people who know me. I just find it a little bit embarrassing with the whole bipolar thing. I know I shouldn't, it's not like my fault, but like I say, it's become quite a personal thing. People that have had it before in the past, and the people that I've met who said that they have it, and you know, talking to people about it now that I'm medicated. I mean, I didn't talk about it before, like I was just rambling on about, you know, I 7 years ago, whatever. You know, it wasn't like I was, you know, if someone was saying like, you know, fucking hell, this is really bad behaviour, or, you know, what's wrong with you, you know, what's going on with you, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm bipolar. And that's something I've noticed with a lot of people when they have their little, you know, they feel down, or they're very happy for one evening or something like that because they've had a coffee. Some wanker on YouTube has put himself up, he's had a coffee or a Coke or something, so this is him doing after his manic episode, and he has to document it. Yeah. Where was it going? Yeah, I don't know, I'm rambling. I just feel, you know, this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, because I've got a lot to say, and yeah, you know, partly for me, and maybe someone else can get something out of it as well, because I've looked at a lot of people on YouTube, and, you know, trying to feel, I wanted to feel, sometimes I want to feel like there's someone else out there that I can kind of resonate with, and I just don't trust people. You know, I've put stuff out there. I think the only thing that I've seen that's helpful on YouTube is the occasional documentary. There was an English couple, an English girl, who was having a pretty bad, you know, I'd say she was depressed, and, you know, she decided, her and her boyfriend decided that she was going to go into hospital. No, it was an emergency. And there was a little bit of a document. I didn't watch the rest of the series, but I thought that was quite useful. I think my girlfriend watched that and thought it was quite useful. I think that's one of the reasons why she was helping with the doctors quite a lot, up until the time that before I was going into the hospital. Fucking, I have to get rid of this face. How the fuck do I do it? None. There you go. Just didn't know how to work the cam. Yeah, you know, I think maybe family members would find it useful if they're going through a bad time. You know, codependence, as it's called. I just think generally it can be quite lonely, and I think there's a lot of stuff misleading on the internet about it. I think it's such an emotional response, not so much to the person when you're going through something. I think if you're suffering symptoms of BP, and you're, you know, I don't think that it's so much like I don't think that when I was down, you know, in my black holes that I would ever go onto YouTube and go, oh, I need to find someone, you know, to talk to me about this, that and the other, talk to me about their experiences, because it's going to make it easy for me, because it doesn't. Maybe it was sometimes out of interest because I had all these ideas going on, and you'd be like, you know, am I bipolar? You know, is this illness when you can't even get out of bed and kind of thing, and you're up, you know, at 5 o'clock in the morning for the third day in a row, and maybe then you'll go Google, you know, look up on YouTube and see, you know, someone crying or going through something, and you think, yeah, but, and it wouldn't change anything, not for me anyway. That was my experience, you know. I think it was almost like it was quite difficult to feel any kind of sympathy for someone else. I suppose I said this to my doctor as well, my well, she's not a doctor, my psychotherapist, that I have, because of my culture, my background, quite working class and everything, I've found it quite difficult. I really do think it's my culture that, you know, if you're depressed, then that's some kind of invented bullshit. And when you see someone who's actually mentally ill, then it brings it home to you that this is not some kind of fashion thing. And since the medication, it's been difficult to orientate myself, because there's no excuses anymore, and it's still maybe not working 100%. I definitely think the medication is working 100%. I've heard a lot of people say that their meds isn't for them, or it's not working, or they've had bad experiences, you know, they've jumped off the meds and all this kind of thing. I'm quite happy. The only thing that didn't work for me was Zyprexa, which is quite common, people have heard a lot about. I went up and waited like fuck after that, and it was like, you know, it was quite a sledgehammer, it was quite zombified. I'm on Seroquel now, amongst other things. And I don't, it tends to be a little bit tired in the evening. That's about it, really. I can't really say there's any major side effects. And I still swing a little bit, you know. Sometimes I sleep at night, it doesn't help not having a job. You know, bad routine and things, but I've just recently rescued a cat. He sat next to me. I hate cats, dog person. And allergic to cats, and I found this little fella, Monty, as I called him, or as we call him, on the street. You know, he's a stray, lovely little animal. I may as well wake him up. He's not quite like you didn't like that. He's not quite like most cats. He's very gentle and easygoing and stuff, and it's actually helped. His heart's pounding. He's a lovely cat. He likes holding hands, like lying next to me, and he just puts his paw out. If you put your hand on his paw, he's quite happy and, you know, chilled out. Yeah, so this has helped, even though he's a pain in the arse and he wakes you up in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning. I'll give him his cushion back. Damn it. There you go. That helps with the routine, and that's something that I've come to realise, that, you know, I was just watching like about an hour ago, some stupid bitch saying that because she's a vegan and she's on raw food diet, and suddenly she's cured from her BP. Which I just think is absolutely outrageous, because, you know, real bipolar disorder is an extreme illness, and you need medication. Even if it doesn't work 100% for you and it's not, you know, perfectly right, you need medication, and you need regular food. You know, if you don't eat, it can, you know, you miss a meal or something, that can really upset your balance. If you get other things like stress as well, alcohol, drugs, you know, just not having a routine. And they were saying to me that, you know, quite a lot, and I thought it was I don't know. I didn't think much about it. It's not like I didn't take it seriously, but I suppose I didn't take it really. I took it for granted. It's only pretty recently, after a year and a half of being on meds, that I really see how much easier it is having a routine. I've got a perfect routine. I'm quite a bohemian person, quite creative, and I don't work. So I can be quite. I don't think it's an illness thing, but sometimes I can be like into what I'm doing, like writing or playing music, or probably just pissing about on the internet or playing computer games, something. Just into my thing until 2 or 3 in the morning. Like I was up till about 2 or 3 last night. I slept till 12 today. Probably because I've been so run down with the cat and not been sleeping. Yeah. So that's my little tip, I suppose, for anyone who's watching this, and we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting for me. I don't know. Leave your comments. Be interesting to hear some feedback. See what people think. Yeah, that will be interesting. So we'll see how it goes. One of the big motivations for doing this was I missed my meds actually for a couple of nights over the weekend. It's Thursday now. I got my meds again on Tuesday morning, so I feel fine now. I think yesterday a little bit, and certainly Tuesday I was feeling a bit of the side effects of the meds, a little bit of anxiety and worry. It was completely misplaced worry and stuff, and it was the meds starting to kick in. I think, like I say, I'm on like loads of different meds, but this was specifically one that I'd lost, and hadn't taken for a few nights, and just by accident they ran out. I didn't have money to go and pick up some new ones. Basically, it was really stupid of me not to plan ahead. Our girlfriend got pretty pissed off at me for that. And I had a big fucking temper tantrum, like the old days, and scared the shit out of my girlfriend. I was going on one for a while there. When was that? Monday, I think. She was really upset. It was completely unnecessary. Well, I suppose there was a reason for it, but there's never any excuses there. And and paranoia. Like the Sunday night, the night before that big blow up, just weird shit. Like I suppose it was a little bit of a hypomania kind of thing. I was building up to something. To thank Christ, I actually took my meds. And the stupid thing is, if you've got like uppers and downers, like I have, and a stabilizer, like I have, if you say, for instance, miss the upper for a couple of days, and you're still taking your downers, because you're on the downers, that can really drag you down then, quite quicker than as if you stopped with all the meds at the same time. Well, obviously the meds have different effects, different withdrawal symptoms and withdrawal times. So, there's no exact science with that, but I'm just trying to illustrate, explain the point that maybe there's different reasons for doing things. You get into such a complicated world with BP generally, what is affecting you, what is causing it, what is stimulating, what's kicking you off, what's balancing it out. And when you bring medication in or withdraw some medication or you've got hiccups with that, obviously things start to get a lot more complicated. So yeah, that kind of brought it home to me. I said this to my doctor. I met my doctor yesterday morning, as I do every week. And she was for the first time pretty bored actually. I started yawning at me and she wasn't really focusing on that. She always asked me to write stuff down that I've been through. I did it for once and she wasn't really into that, so I was kind of wondered at that afterwards. Instead she was kind of focusing on me getting a job, helping me get a job. So she's going to call the people that I've been in touch with at the job centre who work with people who are trying to get rehabilitated. Because I had no joy with them, gave up on them, so she said, right, we'll give me the numbers and I'll call them. So we'll see if that brings up anything for next Wednesday. But like I say, you know, I think one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because I had this trouble over the last couple of days up, I'd say, and you know, not major or anything, but it was unpleasant because it was quite extreme change, and I noticed that I could feel that there was something wrong, and because there's been so much focus on, you know, the reason I'm in this situation is because of what's happened in the past, the consequences, and you don't, when you're on meds, you can't forget that you're ill because you're taking meds morning and night. So when there was something started to feel a bit wrong, I could, you know, I'm not doing much else, so it was kind of obvious that, you know, it was a bit of too much of a coincidence, you know, having a break with the meds and then suddenly feeling strange. So if that, you know, it's not gone away. I think that's something I wanted to talk with her about yesterday. She's great, you know. I was a bit surprised yesterday. You know, it wasn't a big thing, but it was just like I was rambling constantly yesterday, and the time went really quick. And she didn't give me anything back really. You know, she normally does. She normally gives, you know, helpful lectures. I find that quite useful. You know, and she kind of reaffirms things that I already know, I suppose, but it's helpful. I find that helpful. Bit heavy, you know, afterwards. But, you know, I find it helpful through the week if I have like any ideas. You know, sometimes you get a bit tired taking the meds. You know, in the evening you think, oh Christ, I'm going to be on this the rest of my life, and I'm always going to have to be fighting with this. And then I think about what she said sometimes, and that has helped, especially with the social thing. I've been trying to get myself more social. I kind of had a break with everything before I went into hospital because I was having a depressive episode quite a while, and you know, I kind of not broke ties with friends, but you know, if you're just not social, you're not out, and as my kind of culture, my way of being social is going out drinking. You know, if you don't feel like going out and being out in town and stuff and mingling and being fun, you know, I was kind of embarrassed about picking up the phone or answering the phone or calling people saying, hey, let's go and do this, when, you know, you're in a black hole. So I've been having like the consequences of that really the last year, since I've been on meds, like slowly getting back into things and only really bothering to socialise with the people that I actually, I wouldn't say all of them I like actually, but only the people that I've known long enough, you know, to know that they're part of my life. Like I say, you know, sometimes you can't really choose your friends, but you know, you just know who your friends are, and you know, that's